The following program is a Nighthawk Network presentation.
What's up, y'all? What's happening? What up, though? E-Buck in the building. Y'all know what time it is. It is a new year, but on Wednesdays, as usual, we doing what we do, which is talking sports with y'all on this show we call the Guru Sports Session. And of course, good friends and neighbors, we cannot have these discussions about being sports or guru without the sports guru himself, the one and only, the main man, Hugh D. Lee. What up, Hugh?
He was good, man. There's been a lot of crazy, wacky stuff going on in this sports world, man. And we got definitely enough to talk about, man.
Oh
To
yeah, well
get
we
you
gonna
all
get it in like
up
we
to
get it
date.
in, bro. Don't even hold them up. Let's get to cracking.
No, Vanderbilt stunned number 5 LSU and kept Falaje Johnson from scoring, man. How impressed were you with that? Not only was she 0 for 4, she had 0% on field goals, and she basically just got shut out. She didn't score. She contributes still with like rebounds, assists, and some steals. But to just see somebody blank her like that, man, I wasn't expecting that to happen, man. And I just think about now, it makes me look at like how good is Michaela Blake and this Vanderbilt team, and I think they're really good, man. And they put the league on notice with that victory.
It's two sides to this story. Side one is the Vanderbilt side. Vanderbilt pretty good. Like I said, we've been talking about this, it seemed like all year last year. I don't know what went on with the Vanderbilt sports program, but all of a
In
sudden,
general,
all these teams is doing well. I'm talking about the doggone gymnastics team. I'm talking about the men's team, basketball, football. I'm talking about the women's football team. I don't know what it is. The philosophy change, maybe bigger donors. I don't know, but they're getting it in. And this Michaela kid, she wasn't extremely highly recruited, but ever since her freshman year, she been getting it in, dude. And much like old girl at TCU, Olivia Miles, they probably go as Olivia goes at TCU. They go as she goes there at Vanderbilt. And she woke up that morning and ate her Wheaties because she got busy and they couldn't do nothing with her. And part of why your girl Flage wasn't doing so well that game was because she was the primary defender on old girl. And that didn't work out too well for Flage.
not at all.
She was
It
getting
wasn't.
cooked like bacon, baby.
At the same time, too, man, I think that with the SEC, they need to figure out what they want to do as far as strengthen their schedules because playing all
No,
these.
no, my brother. No. That's the case in football a lot. That's even the case in some of the men's basketball side. On the women's side, the majority of those teams play a pretty decent non-conference schedule. If you look at Tennessee's schedule, if you look at South Carolina's schedule, they did play some people.
But
But
LSU
now
didn't play nobody.
LSU, that's the exception.
So basically, so what we saying is, this is in general though, man. Teams need to play more competition at the beginning of the season, unless you just ran into a buzzsaw, just
And,
like him.
and, and I really like that Kim Mulkey was very honest about that in that press conference afterwards.
I knew
Where
this
she
was going
talked
to catch
about,
him.
truthfully, if we would have played a stronger schedule, we probably have a lot more losses right now based
Yeah,
on what we play. We feeling ourselves too much. And I'm glad Kim was on. And like I said, I imagine practice these last couple of days was very interesting. But here's the problem. They shifted the focus this season when they brought on our girl Malaysia Fulwali. I'm thinking now we start to see from Coach Staley's perspective, maybe it wasn't Coach Staley was the problem. It was Malaysia and her thought process was the problem. Because Malaysia is a leader and a focal point on the team. But that being said, if you've seen LSU play these last few weeks up until that game, they started. Everybody wanted to be Magic Johnson all of a sudden. And you remember that one little thing I sent you, and they did the behind the back and all that, and Kim was like, "The hell is all that? That ain't how we do."
Yeah, it's starting to rub off the wrong way on that team. I
Because
definitely
if you
seen
notice
that.
also these last few games, Malaysia, of course, been coming off the bench, but her minutes have been going down.
And she hasn't been executing like that, man. So
And her
yeah,
production as well.
it
So
all
yeah, it's
comes
gonna be real interesting to
maturity.
see how they play these next few weeks in the SEC.
Yeah, because it's like the maturity level, man. I think that's one of the reasons why I think Don Staley didn't trip out on it. And I just look at it and think, man, like just the poor execution in general on the team. And like you said, that fancy trying to do all this, Harlem Grove trying to crap is not going to cut it, man. So,
Right, because when they scoring, they scoring. But again, anybody can score in them Division two type schools they've been playing. In
absolutely.
the SEC, it's a lot more good teams than it is bad teams.
Agree.
And that
Agree.
style of play is not going to serve them well. In the end, the offense needs to stop going through Malaysia. It needs to stop going through Flage. The best player on that team, if you really know your basketball, is that kid Michaela Williams. She the one that's going to end up being the top 10 pick in the W.
They need to focus on that too, man, because
Yeah,
they definitely
they
have to
need
hit
to have the
some.
offense flow through her more.
Yeah, I agree because what they're doing right now ain't working.
No, it's going to lead to some bad few weeks for them.
Check this, Eve, man. Aldi Crooks, man, she scored double digits in her last 80 games, man. How impressed are you with her? Even though they slipped up and lost not so long ago to Baylor, number 22 Baylor, but still, man, she been putting in work.
Again, it's the tale of two things. One, Artie Crooks, when you have her in the post from 5 to 8 feet and she catches the ball securely, you ain't stopping that.
No.
Okay? If she get the ball to where she can get to the basket before anybody double teams, triple teams, get up on her, you ain't stopping that. If you're not close to that size, and keep in mind, there's nobody truthfully in women's college basketball close to that size, you're not going to do too much with her. Either you're going to foul her and she's going to score from the line, or she's going to score. Now, in the perimeter, at 10 to 15 feet, if you let her get the ball and she can shoot it before you can test it, more times than not, she hitting that as well. The problem comes in two things. One, if you on the defensive end work her out. In other words, they score because obviously that game is a lot of mid-range and half-court sets. But then if you go in transition and run her back and forth a few times, she tired, visibly
Oh, yeah.
tired, and they take her out. The more you can get her to come out the game, the more likely you will win. The key for Iowa State is when she's not in the game, what type of scoring are you getting from the rest of them? They do have two pretty decent guards on that squad, but in the end, if they ain't hitting their perimeter shots, because they primarily 3 and D type players, then yeah, that's when Iowa State will start to lose a lot more of these games. The key is to get Artie Crooks in her weakness, which is her, unfortunately, her stamina and her defense. Because again, when they lost that game the other day, you saw how they hit the winning shot, right? It was over Artie Crooks, who was
Yeah,
clearly gassed at that point.
pretty much. And like you said, man, if you run a style of offense the way you really got to run the ball, especially when the team is running the ball like that, and she got to go up and down the court like that, that's easy to basically get her gas and get her out of her game. And then, it's going to be more athletic women she's going to have to play too, who got a little size, but not as much.
But
but
that
that
being
let
said, I
her out.
still think she could be a scorer in the W. No doubt about it. But the thing is, for how long at a time? Because in the ideal world, you make her a starter, that's probably not in your best interest. Probably better off having her come off the bench and give me all 5 minutes here, 6 minutes there, get a hot 14 and 6 out of her, call it a day.
Do you think that it'll probably be wise for her to lose some of the weight like Elisa Pelly did?
I don't know how effective she would be as a smaller person. Could she lose another 20 and 30 and still kind of be hefty like that? Because I would like to see her really get to the type of shape that I'm trying to think of her name. She plays for Atlanta. Brianna. Brianna.
Brianna Jones?
Yep, there we go. Because she was kind of healthy like that when she played at Maryland, but she did kind of slim down over the
Pretty good
years.
size though, E, because it's not like she's too big and
I
she's
mean, they,
not.
they both about that same height. So
Mhm.
in an ideal world, she probably could stand to lose a good 80, really. But
Mm.
would she be as effective? I don't
Probably.
know. Who's to say? Maybe she'll be a better shooter at that weight. Who knows? But no, right now, I think, you know, they lost one game. It's working the way it worked. So
Yeah. So if it ain't broke, don't try to fix it, pretty
at this
much.
point,
E-Man, number 6, Michigan, upset by unranked Washington. Washington got down that game, though, man. I couldn't even really be that mad. It was actually a pretty good game, too. Good contest. And
Michigan is not that same Michigan we saw play UConn, sir. They have lost multiple games now because since that time, the offense is not as efficient as it was that particular game.
that wasn't even really the shocker to me neither, man. One of the shockers to me was unranked Utah beating number 8 TCU. That one kind of caught me off guard.
Well, I expect TCU to lose a few games in conference, primarily because they'll play teams that are bigger, like that Utah team. And though they do have some good shooters on that TCU squad, they don't have a lot of size. So I think teams that have size like that, they will give them challenges. Not to mention, anytime where you get Olivia Miles in foul trouble or something like that, that gives you the opportunity to do better against TCU.
And then she had a little bit of an injury history as well, So
Absolutely. So they tend to rest her at times as well because of that.
E, how did you feel about just recently? Yeah, man, we got a scare yesterday with the Michigan men's, but at the same time, that's still in the division, and you get those records out the door. But Arizona hold on by 1 point to be the number one ranked team right now in the rankings. Do you think that that'll last?
No, because I honestly feel like Michigan is a better team than Arizona. They have more size, they have better shooters, they play better defense than Arizona. In the ideal world, would love that to be the national championship game, though. That'd be a hell of a game. But I think Michigan would have them because, like I said, I like the size and the defensive capabilities. I'm sure if I'm Rusty May, I kind of like the fact that we almost lost because I don't want us to get too complacent in how
Yeah.
we're playing right now. Seeing now we're in the middle of the season and this Big Ten schedule gonna get real tight.
And that happened when you pound and just whoop on teams like that. You expect to do it all the time. Basically, make you hit the reset button and then do your adjustments and do things that you need to do and continue with your grit and grind and move forward. That humble pie is something everybody needs, but just thankfully they ended up pulling that game off. And E, do you have anything else to add from college, man? Because we about to talk about something and it's gonna last us for a second, man.
Okay, well, yeah, definitely. You see the better teams in the country, the Dukes, the Michigans, the Michigan States, the Arizonas, they play a strong non-conference schedule. I think that's something that more people need to pay attention to. Basically, I call it, truthfully, the Tom Izzo model because he was the one who really started doing that maybe 10, 15 years ago, where he made sure that he played a lot of top 10 teams early on, particularly in those tournaments, so his team would have that type of understanding. Okay, this is what it's going to take to beat the better teams in the country. So then when you get to a Big Ten, this probably It probably is the best conference in America right now in terms of basketball, truthfully. So you get into that Big Ten season, and then at that point, most of those teams more than likely are going to be tournament bound.
And what's cool too is the perseverance, man, of like a Coach Izzo, man, because when you see games when you have to play those big name teams. And all you got to really do with a person like Tom Izzo is just get in a tournament, man, because he's always going to be one of those top people who you can never count out. If they could get in a tournament, man, they damn near could possibly win at any time.
Right, just the way that he teaches the defense and the rebound and whatnot. Those are the types of things that come in handy in those type of games.
Man, I've been seeing some of the games too, man. Duke has been looking sharp, man. Cameron Boozer, man, is definitely legit right now too, man. And I've been seeing my mans like JT Toppin. I've been seeing, Caleb, and a lot of guys, Caleb, man, I forgot his last name. But yeah, from North Carolina, it's a lot of good
Mhm.
guys out there who's just been really playing, man, and it's been good to watch, man, because it's been some crazy stuff and ups and downs in college, but it hasn't really got to the grit of it yet. And I'm thinking now this month is where it's really about to get interesting because you're gonna have February, and then you know what comes after February. So yeah, it's gonna be
Absolutely.
more exciting to watch. And plus, you already know right now what season we in, so we're gonna be able to watch and basically evaluate that a whole lot more. But
Right, and then of course now that football season kind of ramping down, we'll get to see a lot more college games on national TV, so you can kind of get a better feel for it.
to make the long story short, too, man, except for me just dragging it out, man, let's get into it, man. Let's talk about that transfer portal, man.
Yes,
It is bad right now. Jesus.
understand. There's over 180 some odd Division One college football teams right now. At last report that I saw, over 5,000. You heard what I said. 5,000 different football players have entered this year's transfer portal. And understand there's still time for others to do so. Keeping in mind that we're about to get into the semifinal games, and definitely I can see that in Ole Miss, where if they don't win this particular game, a lot of those kids will end up hitting the portal as well. So, understanding that from the statistics, 2 out of every 3 kids that hit the portal end up somewhere else, and a third of those kids that hit the portal end up either staying where they at or end up not being signed at all. And then they just have to figure out what to do.
It's sad too because I'm starting to get tired of this transfer portal, man. At first, we looked
It,
at
it
it and
got
thought
to
it
be a
was a
better
good
way,
idea.
man. It got to be a better way to do this time.
It's really to the point where we used to look at and we used to say things like how well, I can't say we, I'm just saying people in general, they'll look at the basketball players like the James Harden who felt like they've been cheated or you've been lied to, or they don't feel like they got the benefit of the doubt and they basically sit out and they don't play. And people be like, oh man, this person, man, he only out for himself. He's not a team player. But when owners do things like get rid of players or trade players, they say, oh, that was a really great executive decision. But when the players start taking matters in their own hand in the NBA, NFL, people looked at it like it was an issue or problem. But it's really bad in college now. Even when you have my man's do things like that. Because when I looked up, I said, damn, Desmond Williams just said 4 days ago that he was going to sign a contract with his team. And it ain't even 4 days later, and now he's trying to get in the transfer portal. And they like, man, you already signed that contract. So I'm trying to figure out how that's going to work out.
And just when you thought it was crazy enough, look at what they're doing now in college basketball, where now in this transfer portal type scenario, you can actually go overseas, grab some of those kids that still, in terms of the years, eligible to go to play basketball and have them who've already played in professional leagues come and play in college and have immediate eligibility. In other words, you could go right now to one of those leagues in Italy, whatever, grab a 19-year-old, like blah, 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 blah. You pass the admissions test, you could start playing for Duke tomorrow.
That is crazy, man. That is so crazy how they
Right. And
operate.
then of course there's this thing they got now where certain people that's currently in the G League or the NBA still have eligibility in college.
Yeah, I've seen that. I definitely seen
I
that.
mean, how the hell that work? You done actually been to the NBA where most of these kids get into. You basically riding the oak, so you decide, yeah, let me go back and play college basketball as a grown ass man. Get a couple years in and see if I can make out better when I come back to the NBA a couple years from now.
And
After
how
I
is they
dominate
operate?
all these kids.
It's definitely taking a period from the game, man, when it comes to college sports right now. Because think about it, man. Even though right now we saw cornerback Zeke Berry and Bryce Underwood, people thought they was going to hit the transfer portal. Zeke Berry said he was going to hit the transfer portal at first, but both of them was like, man, we coming back if we going to be in Michigan. But what I don't like is, but you was just telling me too not so long ago, they were saying, like, I see the buddy sign, E. Well, you was telling me if Bryce Underwood want to, he could try to go back in the transfer portal again next year. So
I mean, think about it. The way it's set up now,
yeah,
every year you eligible to hit that portal.
how
So
come?
all it takes is for a couple incidents be like, I don't like how he treated me. I'm leaving. And sometimes they'll be like, oh, no, don't leave yet. Hold on, let me talk to somebody.
Get that money.
Bryce talk about leaving. No, you got something for me? Yeah, Bryce, go on down to the office. They got a little something for you. Yeah, Bryce, you sure you want to leave, Bryce? You sure? Tell me when. Okay,
They
you staying? All right, cool.
they need to make these contracts and like basically you play here 4 years or you play here at least if you have a 4 year contract, 2 years with an opt clause or something in that third year or something in that nature. They're gonna have to start making it like the professionals, you know they are.
And long story short, Hugh, one of the biggest things that was an issue all these years was, why the college football players got to stay to their junior year before they could come out. If they making this type of money right now, you might as well go ahead and kill that rule too. So you eligible to come out your freshman year, come on the hell out. You already got paid.
You're right, man. Especially
And
when
then
a
again,
guy in college.
and part of what supposed to be the whole thing is that you grow the college game because instead of these kids leaving early because okay, I just got to make some type of money. Instead, they say, well, damn, as person A on this squad, I'm only gonna make a hot meal. But if I stay and take this NIL deal, I'm about to get 5 meal. And all my parents and stuff get Nike shoes. Yeah, I'm gonna stay in school.
And that's a good thing, though, man, to stay in school. But then just the mockery of how they're doing it and how it's operated now with the transfer portal and the NIL and how they, renegotiate and do things, man, it's really getting out of hand, man.
I
They
mean,
got
but think about it, Hugh. The truth is, as we know, we've seen that
yeah.
commercial many times on TV. Only 1% of all college athletes make it to a professional rank. So
So
now
yeah.
when we got NIL deals where most of these people getting paid, you trying to juice that sucker for all this work.
So what can we say about that? It was an old school saying back in the day, man. One of them Too Short songs. Get it while the getting is good.
Get money.
Can't really get upset with that, man. But yeah, they're gonna have to have better structure though, man, on how they
Yeah,
do
they
it.
definitely need to figure out a better way. Bottom line, should nobody be eligible to hit the portal till after the whole season is over?
Yeah, because it's so unprofessional how things are ran now in college, man. It's a mockery of the sport, and that has to be fixed at some point.
Absolutely.
All right, you man. Anything else you want to add about the portal?
Man, like I said, you see where it's at now, especially that whole professional thing we talked about with the basketball. Remember, it's baseball players out there. I imagine they gonna be next, where you can go to the Chinese league and whatnot, a Korean league, and grab some folks and have them play college. And you got the Olympians that's already won gold medals and stuff still in school, like your Jordan Childs of the world. I mean, at some point they gotta put a rein on this thing.
Yeah, because the sad part is we definitely wanted them to get paid because we felt like they were being pimped out for a long time, man. But just the structure of it's just not right, and they
Yeah,
need
like
to
I
get.
said, I've always been an advocate for kids getting paid. It's just the way they going about it right now is crazy.
Agree, absolutely, man. Let's move on now, to the NBA, man. Our Detroit Pistons, man, played the New York Knicks and they beat them by 31 points. Remember, man, I think you was doing the show at that time, man, and I didn't want to be disrespectful, but when I seen that, I said, man, man, did you look at that Pistons game? And when I showed you the score, it was like 50 to 83 already. So I said, yeah, this definitely over with. It was in the third quarter when we knew it was over, but do you think that this was a message they sent to the New York Knicks? Because I know your man Steven ain't scared right now.
Big and loud and clear. Understand, we the Pistons and we coming. We coming for that A. And right now, the Pistons is taking advantage of a very weak Eastern Conference right now.
Much,
I mean, think about it. We already know the situation with Boston, where they not going to get Tatum back this year. We know what's going on with Indiana, where Halliburton's out, and they let Miles Turner walk out the door stupidly.
They're not doing nothing with the Bucks.
Basically. I mean, Milwaukee couldn't do nothing with Dame Collins, so they let him go. And right now, the Pistons say, okay, all our major competition out the way. Let's step on in and handle biz.
You know what's crazy though, E2? We thought New York was going to take advantage of that, but actually the Pistons have.
And to a degree they have. Keep in mind, they are number 2 team in the East right now.
No, they're not. Correction, E. Boston Celtics.
Oh, they done moved up since then. Okay, well, even still. Temporarily. But what I like about what the Pistons are doing right now, they are winning as a team, as a collective. Because some nights, it be that bench that's doing it.
Yeah.
Because that bench hungry. I mean, they starving.
We got one of the best closers in the game right now, Cade Cunningham. We, at one point, was scared because of his injury issues, man.
Yeah. Quick note of interest. Cade Cunningham is questionable tonight with an injury.
Jesus. Are you serious? Stop playing, man.
I wish I was lying, but I am not. Hopefully he will play. But again, that is one of the things that concerns me. Cade Cunningham has been injured for extended period of time. Every season he has been in the league. Now, when healthy, right now, he is the MVP, in my humble opinion, over SGA.
Yeah.
He is the MVP. But again, how healthy will he be? They may have to do what we hate to see done, but in his case, it looks like they may need to go there and do a little load management with that brother.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what's crazy?
As an old school basketball head, I kind of hate that because back in the day, wasn't no damn load management. You played.
But they need
you either hurt or you play.
Because they can't afford to have him hurt up for a while, man, for a minute or a span of time.
Right, because, we already got Doran out and we already got Tobias out, but yet we still winning like this. So let's see what happens.
And I know people probably be looking at it and think we biased because what we were saying as far as how good and how dominant they've been. Let's talk about the team who I've been looking at and been showing a little concerns about right now. OKC Thunder. They was on like a 6-6 stretch, man, a 12-game span, and they currently lost 2 games. It was a 2-game lose streak. But what surprised me though was how bad they got beat by Charlotte, man. And I was trying to see, like, was it any injuries or what happened for them to get blew out like that? But nobody was injured. It was just Charlotte just got the best of them.
You got to understand, you're the champions. Every night the team you play is going to bring their best. Absolutely. So some nights you're going to say to yourself, let them have it. I felt like that's what happened with that Charlotte game. Just let them have it. I am not concerned about OKC at this point. It's only really 2 challengers they got over there in the West right now. And the Lakers kind of sort of is one of them, but they going through their helter-skelter scenario over there. And, of course, San Antonio, look at
got their number. San Antonio got their number. They 3-0 against.
There's the injury concern with Wembanyama, who pretty much been injured every year he's been in the league so far.
How do you feel too, E-Man, even though the Clippers not playing up to the expectations a lot of people thought they were, man, but Kawhi Leonard, man, his 7-game, streak, man, or his span that he's been playing, and I feel like when healthy, man, and when he plays, he's definitely one of the best players to play the game, but it's just like, how long will he be healthy? That's been the biggest issue, man. But yeah, man, he's been playing pretty good. He's been averaging 36.6 points a game. So, what are your thoughts, man? Because I still don't feel like the Clippers are going to do too much because eventually he will get injured. We already believe that James Harden will get injured. It's a lot of old dudes who have injury history, man. When Chris Paul left the equation, man, then it was like that kind of helped the blow a little bit, but it's a lot of injury issues over there with an older team.
That team's still old, and that team's still gonna play most of his games in the Western Conference second half of the season.
And
So
that's going to be
yeah,
fun.
I do think there will be a drop off. In the end, the whole Kawhi thing is very similar to what usually happens over there in Philly when you get to a point where Joel Embiid gets to feeling pretty good for about a month, and during that month where he's feeling good, he dominates
One of the best
because
centers
when
there
healthy,
is.
Embiid is one of the top 5 players in the league, if not one of the top 20 players of all time. When healthy,
When
but
healthy.
again, like I said, you wait for the other shoe to drop. It's certain people now in the league, you wait for them to get hurt. Unfortunately, Cade Cunningham starting to look like one of those folks. Kawhi, definitely one of those folks. Embiid, definitely one of those folks. Obviously, the glass man himself, AD, one of those folks. It's just a given. I mean, part of the funny part is right now, if I had an MVP vote, I would vote Cade selfishly, but you know who I would vote second over SGA?
Who?
I would definitely vote for the man that the triple dub has become a way of life for. The big fella himself in Denver, who is
Okay.
currently out with an injury. The Joker, I mean, he does it some nights so effortlessly, you kind of take it for granted.
And then the depth they got over there now too, man. You know what? And that's the one thing I don't think people really
But
give credit.
again, they are not the same team without him. It is very, very
Yeah,
clear.
absolutely, because they barely won the last game they played.
I mean,
So
it's just like that one year when basically Peyton Manning didn't play all year because of his
oh yeah,
neck. And I argued that he probably was the MVP that year just because you showed just
absolutely,
how bad that team was without him.
absolutely. Then again and again on Andrew Luck, man. He went to Denver and they still ended up eventually winning the championship. Wow. You know what happened with Andrew Luck, unfortunately.
Yeah, unfortunately, but all right, good people. I am interrupting the show to address this breaking news. Breaking news: the Atlanta Hawks have traded 4-time All-Star Trae Young to the Washington Wizards for C.J. McCollum and Corey Crisper. I do not like this move. This says to me, my name is Trey. Get me the hell out of here. I don't care. Send me somewhere. Send me anywhere. So anywhere is where they send him. Now understand right now the Wizards are one of the worst teams in the league, bar none. Them getting Trae Young makes them maybe slightly better than the other worst teams in the league, but not a playoff team, not a team on the come up. It's a very bad move for Trae. CJ McCollum deserved better than what he got going to the Wizards in the first place. Putting him on the Hawks, that actually helps them to some degree, but it does not improve them greatly either on that end. Um, I guess if you pick a winner in this, it's probably the Hawks, but not really. Anyway, that's my thoughts on that. Back to the show, good people. But he's living his best life right now.
Man, we already figured this was gonna happen, but why do you think it's about to happen now, man? Atlanta Hawks and Trae Young are working on the trade finally.
I kind of look at that as the same scenario it was for Allen Iverson back in the day. Remember, we go back to, I want to say the early 90s, about year 4 or 5, when him and Larry Brown first wasn't really gelling the way they wanted to. And they
Absolutely.
really seriously considered trading AI. And of course, the persons that they wanted to trade to was the Pistons. And to this day, I still don't understand why that deal didn't go down, because that probably would have won us a couple years more championships if we would have
Well,
made that move. Not to mention, we probably would have never got Darko either. But anyway, I feel like it's that same scenario with the Trae Young thing. 3 years ago, we was talking about, yeah, they probably should go ahead and trade Trae Young, but then of course they got Deontay Murray, and they figure, okay, let's see what they do together, and that didn't work out. So Deontay ended up leaving instead, and now Trae is here. But see, this appears to be the best time for him to leave because his heir apparent and Johnson is already there handling business.
Oh yeah, Jalen Johnson been having so many triple doubles.
Right. The problem is you done paid him buku supermax type money, and people ain't trying to trade that much for undersized point guard that's more or less really a shooting guard.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's been a problem for years too, man. We was just like always thinking, how far would they get with him, man? And they'll get to the playoffs, but that's possibly it, man. You know, one and done.
He ain't the greatest defender either, so that don't help the trade value either.
Absolutely, man. I'm definitely trying to see what's going to happen this season with him too, man, because there's a few trades that's out there, man. Who do you think right now, because they've been having Pistons talk right now, I'm thinking that they was going to get someone to try to get anybody in a trade. I feel like I definitely don't want nobody like how they were saying Anthony Davis, or I like Trey Murphy and some of those guys, but I just don't want
like the Trey Murphy thought, but I don't think. And listen to JB Bickerstaff talking to press conference the other day. I don't think they pressed to get no major upgrade in terms of. I mean, I think he very much likes the team he has right now.
Yeah, I agree. He's
going to add some pieces that's going to fit the mold. Trey Murphy definitely fits the mold. He is a good defender. He is a shooter. We could use a couple more distant shooters, and I like that move for us in terms of the marketings and Anthony Davises and some of the other. Zion Williamson, some of those names has been mentioned. I really ain't trying to go for them because I think it's going to cost us more than what we want to spend.
I agree. I like where we at right now. Like
Absolutely.
You said, I'd rather be able to get someone who can shoot the 3-point basket, someone who we won't have to break the bank for, and who can help us contribute and play right now. But anything more like a Zion, AD, Mark Aiken, no, I don't want none of that.
Yeah.
Just leave those guys be. All right, E man. Since I've discussed a lot of that football stuff yesterday as far as college, man. We just gonna get straight to the actual semifinals, man. And then you have on January the 8th, number 10 Miami versus number 6 Ole Miss. That was one of the better games I've seen as far as the college games, man. When Ole Miss played Georgia, damn man, I don't think people giving Trinidad Chambers the credit where credit is due. He looked phenomenal out there, man. How do you think that that's going to work out with them playing Miami? Because Miami has a better defense than people even advertise.
Well, another person not getting his credit in this scenario is the kid Weiss Jr., who is currently coaching that squad. Man, he was the one who saw in Chambers something that most people didn't see. And he was the one who encouraged Lane Kiffin, we need to get this kid. I think he'll run this offense perfectly. And he has done just that. I mean, he has moved up his draft stock exponentially. And I'm not sure if he's a senior or not, but I think if not, that, of course, would make him eligible to hit the portal because, without Lane Kiffin, next year, Mississippi probably ain't nothing worth talking about in that SEC. So this is their moment. That being said, as a fan of the game, I really want to see Ole Miss win that game and make it to the championship game. We'll get to the predictions, but it's going to be interesting. But meanwhile, that Miami story is quite a story also. It's just, again, I didn't like the over celebration of it all with the whole thing with Michael Irvin. Granted, I will give him credit for being in phenomenal shape for somebody his age. Because, when I take my shirt off, I don't look nothing like that, unfortunately.
Yeah, man, I just didn't like the way he handled that too, man. Like, you got to be humble, man, because you still got some good competition because on that Friday, that January the 9th, is going to be Oregon and Indiana. So we're going to get back to those, E-Man. But I want to talk about some of the things that happened in the NFL as far as we didn't think a lot of these coaches was going to we knew some coaches was going to be dismissed, and most of them landed on that list. But to see like some of the names we knew, like the Pete Carroll, we kind
Okay,
of
now,
figured
now,
that
now
it
hold on
was
here because we gonna actually get into this one for real, for real. So before we
absolutely.
do that, let us definitely take a commercial break right now. This is the Guru Sports Session featuring your boy E-Buck, co-hosting and producing and whatnot as we do. Of course, this is Nighthawk Network. Nighthawk Network, our voices for our people. And now, Hugh, a surprise for you, brother. Because today we're going to do the commercials on a live read because I want to encourage everybody out there watching our Nighthawk Network right now to check out the rest of our Nighthawk Network shows. As you know, I am no longer doing a solo show on the network. Don't feel bad about it. I'm good with it because I get to co-host with all my peoples. And also, we get to start our brand new show tomorrow, known as, well, depending on how you like it, Two Bros on the Couch or Two Unks Talking TV. That show is going to premiere, truthfully, tomorrow at 8 p.m. We are going to be talking about the show Family Matters, as we will be talking classic TV and classic movies, y'all. But this week we talking Family Matters. Got a lot of stuff to talk about with that one. 9 years Family Matters was on, and definitely want to get into it. Also, we want you to check out on Tuesdays Rumble Time, which is our wrestling show hosted by our girl Queen Gemini. And we also want you to check out the Indie Experience featuring Miss Nico Road to Stardom Simmons, where she talks independent music and interviews folks in that realm, and also people just with their own independent networks and stations and businesses and all that good stuff. So definitely check that out. Then, of course, on Fridays, we have Straight Sports Talk with Coach Vincent. You join Coach Vincent as he talks football from developmental leagues and women's leagues. He also wants to get into talking to some of the women players from other sports, basketball and such. So if you have somebody you think would be a good fit for that show, please hit us up. And also want to shout out our other connecting partners here in the network. That would be, of course, Dishing Tea with Big Meech. And, of course, my good cuz, Dr. Marla Farsi, and No Weapon Formed Against Us that comes on Mondays. And also shout out to our guy, Pastor Shine Love, with Pastor Shine Love Presents every Sunday. So, those are the shows of the Nighthawk Network. Please check them out. Show them love throughout the year. Many of us are going to be posting our Cash App. So if you want to help out with supporting the network, helping out with equipment cost and network fees and all that, we appreciate you for doing so. That being said, that is our live commercial today. And now we will go back to the show. All right, Hugh, we are back from commercial break. You like my live read?
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. That was something I appreciated, man.
All right, and then also, before I forget, I almost forgot about my bro's other show, The Guru's Perspective, that you can check out 7 p.m. on Tuesday. Can't forget that one. My bad, Hugh.
No, that ain't no problem at all, brother. It was actually pretty interesting stuff that happened in the NFL, man, over this week 18. And we're gonna talk about that before we give our predictions. One game that actually kind of just left a bad taste in my mouth, man, was the Panthers and Buccaneers game. It's like just win the division, somebody. Why don't you? I felt like it was just a lot of mishaps, a lot of bad calls in that game. It was good for the elements of the game, but I just feel like all in all, man, they dropped the ball on that one, and I wish that game was executed a little better. I'm surprised, in my opinion, and it's just my opinion, it's not yours. I'm speaking on my behalf. Then nobody looked at it like, well, yeah, Todd Bowles is on the hot seat or have any issues at this point, even though they made the playoffs every year. But yeah, that was just a really bad game, man. I'm gonna know your thoughts.
I kind of don't have many thoughts about Week 18 in general. Yeah, we had a couple good games, obviously, because of the playoff implications of them all. But a lot of those games was pretty much a waste of our television viewing time, especially the games where they set out a lot of the starters. I mean, that damn Chargers game, ew.
It was bad, man. And the funny thing is, you mentioned some of them other games. I'm not gonna mention most of those games. I've been
Most of them
mentioning
are worth mentioning.
absolutely. Seattle and the 49ers, when I looked at that game, I feel like it's just them injuries finally caught up with San Fran, man. And at the same time, not having Trent Williams definitely helped them out tremendously as far as the Seattle Seahawks go.
But that being said, both of those two teams is playoff teams. So, was it really a loser that week in that game? Not so
Not
much.
really. All right, E-Man, and the game we got to talk about because we about to basically get back into the nitty-gritty, man. The Ravens and the Steelers game, man.
Now, it is important we talk about that game because a lot of stuff then jumped off from there.
Because I feel like I addressed everything yesterday as far as games go. It wasn't really a good week. I tried to stroll through as best I could, but this is one that had a huge impact and implications afterwards. You had a game where I just feel like, and I've been hearing rumblings this year, but didn't really get off into it. I was just saying this hearsay, type of rumors, but I was definitely hearing that Lamar Jackson and Coach John Harbaugh wasn't getting along, and he started to lose the locker room. And there was a lot of things that was going on that I was saying, is it really real, or is it like, is it really smoke to this fire? That game was a pretty good game, and Lamar made some passes, and like some of them touchdown throws he did was basically regular Lamar Jackson and the Lamar Jackson magic. But at the end of the game, though, the field goal miss, oh man, that basically impacted everything that's happening around the league right now. But when that happened, I want to know your thoughts on now the dismissal of Coach John Harbaugh.
Okay. As I've thought about this all throughout the last couple of days, I'm still really torn, Hugh. On the one hand, we got to look at the fact that Coach Harbaugh, second longest tenured coach in the NFL, has won 193 career games. Only 8 other coaches have won more games than that, okay? Only, I believe, 15 other coaches have coached longer than Coach Harbaugh coached for Baltimore. Granted, it's only won one Super Bowl. But, again, people, it's been, 59 Super Bowls, correct? It ain't been 59 different coaches that have won a Super Bowl, okay?
Absolutely.
If you look at Andy Reid's 3, Bill Belichick 6, Chuck Knowles 4, Jimmy Johnson's 2.
Wow.
How many is that? That's like a fourth of all the Super Bowls that's ever been won right there. So the fact that you have won one at all speaks volumes. Understand, you coached there, for 18 seasons, I think it was? How many coaches have not the Patriots, how many coaches have the Panthers had since that time? The Giants, the Jets,
Definitely the Jets.
the Cardinals.
Shit, the Lions.
Not so much the Lions.
We had a lot of coaches
the Lions in there
before him. Hell yeah, we did.
I mean, understand, 193 wins. How many wins have we had in that time?
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
And how many Super Bowls we had in that time? I just feel like people feel when they looked at that, or when they was trying to get rid of him. I believe it all started with the locker room, and you've been hearing the Lamar Jackson rambling, but
and that's the thing, Hugh. I don't think it's so bad as that part's being portrayed. I don't think he lost the locker room. I think he lost the locker room leaders.
Bisciotti, oh yeah, and
that's different.
And I think Steve Bisciotti was getting to the point where he was getting to where he was impatient after all this time. And two, what I was hearing too, some of the rumors was the fact that he wanted Todd Monken and some of that coaching staff off of the team. And Harbaugh was like, "Man, I'm sticking with my guys," and that was his demise. I was hearing.
But understand, did he get fired for this year? Did he get fired for the last 5 years? Did he get fired for his total resume? That's the part that I'm kind of torn with. You cannot fire Coach Harbaugh for this year. Understand that they was just that much away from actually making the playoffs as a divisional winner at that.
Did
You
you hear
can't
about it?
really fire him for the last couple years because, again, fluky plays led to where they ended up with. A couple
Yeah,
different things go a couple different ways. They done been to at least 2 Super Bowls extra at that point.
injuries have key factors.
Lamar has been hurt this year. Lamar has been hurt last year. There's that to consider. I mean, long story short, when you look at his overall resume, it ain't a lot of coaches in the league that still have a job at this point that's better than what we seeing out of Coach Harbaugh. So, on the one hand, yeah, you may have felt like it was time for a change because you just wanted something different. But my whole thing is this: who you replace that dude with?
Absolutely. I've been
That's
hearing
currently
names,
available.
and I don't see them names really basically replacing him. You're just going to be a
Because if you feel
placeholder.
like you are still on the verge of possibly winning the Super Bowl, because remember, I did pick them to win it all. You don't want a coach that's going to have to say, okay, well, let's start everything over and do this in my image. You want somebody that you could just plug in, be like, okay, here's all your little pieces. We're gonna add you a few extra ones. Go ahead and win this division next year. Because you should have most of what you need in the building already. Now, granted, that defense, that is not a Ravens defense, okay?
Not at all.
We know the Ravens have been known
Garbage.
for their defense over the last 20 plus years. This year, not so much. Lamar Jackson is still one of the top 4 quarterbacks in the league. Can we safely say that?
Yeah.
And he's still under contract for a couple more seasons. So at this point, that's your window. Then you got Derrick Henry. I think we get one more good year out of Derrick Henry and maybe a couple more okay years. But keeping in mind with him at that size, at that age, at that point, it's definitely going to be some type of drop off. I don't think it was so much a drop off this year as a point of emphasis that sometimes you just forgot he was on the squad. You should have utilized him more often.
And that's been the
I
issue.
understand the whole fumble thing and all that came into play with it all, but long story short, I don't think he should have been fired. But I ain't mad that he was either. I'm like I said, I'm kind of torn with it all. Now, this whole thing about, oh yeah, he fired. Everybody call him. He the guy. He the guy. Do I feel like that about it? Again, I kind of do, and I kind of don't. Because again, if the issue is he lost the locker room, you would think part of that is okay, you're not relating to today's players.
Yeah,
You're starting to get into that Bill Belichick range of okay, yeah, you don't
pretty much.
see things the same no more. Because remember, everybody was thinking that at that moment, oh, Bill Belichick fired, he done won 6 Super Bowl. I know somebody gonna want him until they did. And as you see, how that work out with him in North Carolina this year.
And the problem was too the people he wanted to bring on his roster. You know, when you have a staff of people that people don't really want to be bothered with, and it kind of wore his welcome out with the Josh McDaniels and Matt Patricia.
Right, and again, you know, the Belichick situation is different because, of course, he wanted to be coach and GM wherever he went. That's not going to be the case with Harbaugh. Harbaugh will work with who you got, and again, Harbaugh's are coach lifers. They between the dad and the sons, they know more football than most of us will ever know. So, if I'm one of the teams that's in need of a coach right now, oh yeah, I'm definitely calling that dude because he got the options. He could go with one of those teams, or he could basically go to college and go the reverse route of his brother. Or because of his football knowledge, I could see him being in the booth. Why not?
I feel bad for the kid, the kicker too, man. Tyler Luke, because the death threats and the things they were saying, like, it
I
was
hate
really like
that
disgusting.
sports fans are like that in this day and age of internet bullying. Because in the end, remember, that kid may not be a football player, but he is a athlete. In real life, most of them people making them threats, if they ran into that dude on the street, they don't want none. They don't want none of that.
Yeah, it got out of hand, man, and
As
I
it
feel like
tends to do.
If he would have made that kick, we wouldn't even be having this conversation right now.
Well, I mean, bottom line, if they made the playoffs, he wasn't getting fired, okay?
Absolutely.
Now, that being said, I can see us having a whole nother conversation next week, depending on how certain games go. You know where I'm going to with that. Well, I ain't going to talk about it this week, but next week, if it happens, we'll have that discussion then.
Okay. Now, if you're ready, I'm ready, E-Man. We can get into these predictions now.
Yeah, we're going kind of quick today, ain't we? Yep,
All
go
right,
for it.
E-Man. Let's start off with the semifinals in the CFP, college football playoff. Number 10 Miami versus number 6 Ole Miss, January the 8th. Who you got?
I'm going with Ole Miss, and it's more of a than this thing because I like the story of it all, and I really like that Chambliss kid. I think that game is close most of the game, and if it comes down to the fourth quarter, I see that dude putting on his S and his cape and making them make it to where they end up in the national championship game.
They have a really solid squad too over there, man. Not only just the offense, the defense, they got speed, agility, the athleticism.
They got some good
I'm gonna
receivers.
take them too. I'm gonna take them, and I'm gonna get them a 3.5 point favorite. They get that to Miami, which I'm shocked, but I'm going with Ole Miss on this one. And then on Friday, January the 9th, you have number 5 Oregon against Indiana.
Now I know a lot of people thinking, oh yeah, based on who Indiana to beat, and they the only undefeated team left, that should be a gimme. Not necessarily. Remember, Oregon is a pretty decent squad. They have played each other before this season, which always seems to benefit the team that did not win based on the whole momentum of it all, because it's like, okay, yeah, we know what to do now to deal with them. But I expect it to be a very close game, but I do think Indiana wins. I do also think it's not going to be as high scoring as a lot of people think it might be. I don't know what the over-under is on that game, but I think the winner of that game probably scores maybe 24 points at the most.
Yeah, and
I do believe that winner will be Indiana.
They have Indiana as a 3.5 point favorite, but I'm going to go with Oregon because I just want to mix things up.
And why not?
Now, let's move on to the wild card round in NFL right now. Of course, you have on Saturday, January the 10th. And we're going to have a lot of football on. I'm so excited, man. And it's going to be where after this, man, it's going to be downhill from there. You have the Rams versus the Panthers. It's like, man, I got the Rams and I got them by 14.5. No disrespect.
But it is, though. Remember, they played earlier this year, and the Panthers beat them. Why are you so confident that they're going to not only win that game, but actually cover that ridiculous spread?
Oh, that ain't even the spread. I went up on the spread. They got them by 10.5. I just threw on the extra like 3-4 points.
Why do you think they're going to win by that ridiculous spread?
I don't trust Bryce Young. You was going to have that face. I don't trust him. And the sad part was, it wasn't his fault. They was trying to be cute, and Xavier Legette messes up like he always do. I don't trust him this time, though, E. Nope.
You don't trust Bryce Young? Heisman Trophy winner Bryce Young?
I think they're going to get after him.
Alabama Bryce Young you don't trust?
They're going to get after him.
Alabama fan Hugh Lee don't trust Alabama Bryce Young?
Nope.
I don't think that's what's going to be the real problem. I think they're going to do a decent job passing the ball. I think they're going to shut down their running game. Because that's why they lost that first time.
Yeah, and then you see what happened too. Rico Dowdle, man, got shut down. He got shut down that game, bro. He only had 10 yards? That was it. If he had 10 yards in the touchdown, he would have made his
hopefully he is wise and don't run his mouth this week, because that's part of why it was like that. Because he got to run his mouth before that game, and the Rams took that personally. But bottom line is, I think the Rams win that game because they got the better team and the better coach. And the MVP of the league. All those things combined, yeah. Is it a blowout like that? Yeah, why not?
He said, yeah.
Yeah.
I thought you was gonna say not really. Sunday, January 11th, man. You got well, actually, I'm moving ahead of myself. My bad. You still have on that Saturday the Chicago Bears and the Green Bay Packers, but the Packers are visiting Chicago, man. They actually have Green Bay as a 1.5 point favorite.
Now here's the thing: the one thing that you would expect would be a factor in that game really ain't gonna be. Should be a decent winter day in Chicago. Cause let me see, they 5 hours behind us, so they basically gonna get the weather we getting that day. Sunday here is supposed to be rainy going into snow. So Saturday, which is the day before, is supposed to be about 40. So yeah,
Damn
they
near.
should actually get some pretty decent weather. So that being said, I gotta favor the Bears on this one, primarily because the main focal point that everybody was so gun ho about, yeah, that's why the Packers about to do this and this and this, because they got Michael Parsons.
They don't have him. They don't have him, and I
And
think the Bears.
remember, Jordan Love ain't necessarily 100% either.
Mhm.
Concussion protocol and all. So,
And I think the Bears.
I would love to see them have a package for I would love to see them have a package for Willis in that game.
He gonna be somewhere on somebody else's team next year though. So
I can definitely see him as a starter somewhere, or a
Yeah.
very quality backup.
Yeah, I'm definitely going with the Bears. I'll take the 1.5 points as well that they gave
I
them.
will take those Bears as well.
And then you have Sunday, January 11th. You have the Chargers versus the New England Patriots. I'm gonna go with the Patriots with the 3.5 points. It should be more because how bad they've been playing the Chargers, but I'm gonna go with the Patriots on this one.
I'm afraid I got to go with the Patriots because in the end, part of why we got that debacle Sunday with the Chargers is because my man's Herbert is not healthy. That hand is bad. In an ideal world, if they wasn't playoff bound, they would have shut him down weeks ago.
And think about this.
In the playoffs, and he is by far their best quarterback option. With all due disrespect to Trey Lance, because Trey, you go on hit the UFL, bro.
Probably one of the
He was
worst.
not an NFL quarterback, my guy.
That's one of the worst draft decisions of all time to me, man. As far as
That's right up there with my man's for the Raiders. But anyway,
yeah.
I already know who I'm talking about. But anyway, yeah, I think it's going to be a long day for Herbert, especially if they get to him early. Remember, he is one of the most sacked quarterbacks in the league this year. And with the bad hand and all, that S and that cape ain't going to be with him that day. So, not to mention that offensive line, despite the fact they won what they won, still been an issue all year. So, yeah, I don't see it happening.
I think people got to give credit where credit is due too, not just because of Mike Vrabel and who he is. He is who he is now. Think about, man. He was one of them hard ass coaches like Bill Belichick at one point with his team, and that's the reason why his team didn't want him there after so long. Man, they got tired of it, kind of like what you see with John Harbaugh. But not only did he change his ways, man, but he still got the hard ass mentality. But not only that, but then he's a player's coach, man. They love to play for him. Look how good Ramondre Stevenson playing now. Remember, he was a fumbling machine. That dude's been playing. He fumbled a few times this year, and my man said, I'm rolling with him. And Vrabel rolled with him and gave him, just like you said, man, he said he believed in him and gave him that opportunity. And look how well that team in general has been playing as a unit. So, yeah, man, I give credit to him, man, for changing his coaching style to just kind of focusing on what he's doing with that team now and giving them
right. Here's a little pop question for you, just to throw some extra in there. That game is in New England, right?
Yeah.
You think we're going to see our girl Cardi B?
Man, I wouldn't be surprised. You
knew I was going there. You knew I was going there.
I can't even be mad because I'm looking forward to seeing her, man. So
yeah, because she's losing that baby weight real nicely.
Hey, and then that same day we got the Buffalo Bills and Jaguars. Damn, that's gonna be a good one, man. I'm gonna go with the Jags on this one, and I'm gonna give them a 1.5 point favorite because they're giving that to the Bills, even though in my gut I'm saying that experience is with the Bills. And I can't be dogging the Bills because I said I was going to take them and they would probably be the Super Bowl team this year.
Yeah.
I think they're going to go down that same path as the Ravens, man. Yeah, I'm going to go with the upset and I'm going with the Jags. How you feel about that? Does that
I
shock you?
am so
I don't
torn
think
about this game. I
that
really
don't shock
want to
you at
see.
all.
I hate that these two teams is playing each other. I really,
Yeah.
really do.
Because if you pick
Because
the
I
Bills,
really
you
like
sell out.
Josh, but I really like Trevor Lawrence too. And you know I love Travis Etienne. You know
Yeah.
that's my dude.
Yeah. You know, we wanted him at one point.
Right. And it's so crazy that here we are in this scenario, even though truthfully, Buffalo don't really have much in terms of receiving core. And who was supposed to be one of the best players on that squad, that damn Travis Hunter, ain't even gonna play at all because he can't. It's crazy that we here. But
Myers and all them other guys stepped
I'm
up.
gonna go with the upset and go with Buffalo because it's all shaping out for him perfectly. And bottom line is, we didn't think we would be here where wasn't gonna be no Joe Burrow to worry about, wasn't gonna be no Patrick Mahomes to worry about, wasn't gonna be no Lamar Jackson to worry about. You probably is the best quarterback on that side of the bracket. So yeah, if Buffalo wins, we know why it happened. It's because he left out the locker room with that S and that cape and said, "It's on me today, y'all. We winning this beat."
And the crazy thing is, I can't even be mad if that happened too, because what I'm looking at is I picked them for the Super Bowl.
And the thing that also plays to the advantage is the fact that that game is in Jacksonville, where the weather would be a lot better than it would be in Buffalo at this time.
And then you got the San Francisco 49ers and Philadelphia Eagles.
I got the Eagles, man.
I got them because of the fact is the 49ers ain't healthy.
And they're not
healthy. Yep.
They too beat up.
And
they got the type of defense that's going to give Brock Purdy trouble.
Remember what happened last time the defense got to them? They ended up going back to the Super Bowl. So, yeah, I'm definitely looking at that one.
They pretty much put out every quarterback they had.
I'll take the 4.5 on that one. All right, Ian, then you have the Monday Night Football game, and this is what you was going to talk about. We waited for this, and now you got the Houston Texans on the road playing the 10-7 Pittsburgh Steelers. I got Houston, and I'm going to take them by that 3-point edge because of the defense.
As much as I wanted to go different for different reasons than what you would think, I too have to take Houston. But I think what happens is Houston wins that game and they win it convincingly, and all hell breaks loose in the NFL at that point. I'm not even going to say why. I think you can put 2 and 2 together. Like I said, I don't even want to put that out into the universe until it actually happens. But depending on how that game is lost by Pittsburgh, a lot of things happen after that.
Yeah, man, because I definitely feel like Houston, that defense going to show up, man, because like you said, the Ravens defense definitely didn't show up. Hell, the Steelers defense didn't show up. It came down to Tyler Luke, and he just couldn't convert, man. All that pressure on the rookie right now just wasn't it for him, man.
All you need is C.J. Stroud to just run a decent offense and let his defense do the rest.
And what's crazy about all this,
and that being said, though, if Pittsburgh does win that game, it's going to be for 2 reasons. One, because that dude known as the bad man going to show out that day in Aaron Rodgers. And DK Metcalf going to say, okay, I got to make up for how I fucked up. And let me show up and show the hell out.
And it's going to be hard doing that against Derek Stingley, man.
Very, very true. Against that defense, period.
And it's going to be Monday, too, so I'm really going to be looking forward to that one. That's the last
Monday. That's a good Monday, too. Agreed.
Anything else you want to add to that, E, brother?
It's been a beautiful show. I don't want to mess it up with nothing. All I want to hear is them kind words from that brother Hugh.
Appreciate you, bro. You guys know where to find me at on social media. I appreciate all the people been showing me all the love and support and who's been hitting up my links, liking and subscribing. You can follow me at Hoovy. That's WHOOVI on Instagram. I put up a lot of our products, some of the different things as far as our brand. And of course, I put up some promos on there too for us and for people to check out. Sports Guru to You is my Facebook page where I put the breaking news, just like yesterday with the firing of Coach John Harbaugh. And I put up the news as far as the games and, all the sports and even the stats as well. And you can catch me on TikTok as Hugh.Lee6 as well, where I put up a lot of the different things like the sports reels and the highlights from around the leagues, NFL, NHL, NBA, etc. And I would like to say thank you all for the love and support. And like he said, I would like to give credit where credit is due to Nighthawk Network. And just like to say, 2026 is here, and I'm just praying that we can all have a better year, for the most part. And just thankful to be doing the show, man, because that keep my mind off of a lot of things right now. So yeah, just appreciate all the love and support, and can continue to click on them links and like and subscribe. We definitely appreciate that.
All right, and yeah, I know some of y'all are sad with how the season ended for the Lions. Give them credit for pulling out and showing a little grit and winning that last game. Definitely gonna be a lot of moves made in the off season. Look like we're gonna be losing a few folks. It's gonna be time for them to go ahead and sit it on down. But it's still good to be a Detroit fan right now because we got the Pistons winning. Hell, the Red Wings even showing out.
Right.
So
Absolutely.
I'm definitely looking forward to see what we accomplish as a city this year. New mayor, all that good stuff. New year. Yeah, we got some exclusive. All right, guys, before we end the show out, quick programming note. The show 2 Unks Talking TV will not actually air tomorrow. Had a scheduling conflict that makes that not possible. We will premiere the show, in fact, next week on Thursday at 7:30. So it will be 2 Unks Talking TV at 7:30 p.m. Not tomorrow, but the following week. Thank you for your understanding. And now to finish the show. Hurdles to overcome on both ends of the spectrum. Trust and believe you, but I do believe that this year we're going to see some major things happen, and it's because God, he got us.
I definitely appreciate that, brother, because things has been tough, man, but just been thankful, man. One of the things that I've been happy for, man, is the fact that just me, my health, man. I'm just praying to continue to go on that road because as much stuff as went on with me this year, I could have just definitely been like, the heck with that. I ain't doing anything, man. But to lose close to that 70 pounds like I wanted, man, that's really been a blessing, man. But and I looked at that and I had to look at a lot of the positive things, and I just want to continue to go on that route. But yeah, just really happy, man, that it's a new year, and just pray that we can get the opportunities we both deserve, man.
Absolutely. Like I said, we look forward to talking to y'all tomorrow when we come with 2 Unks Talking TV, 2 bros on the couch. We're going to talk family matters. I know that's one of y'all favorites, one of our favorites. We definitely look forward to having that discussion with y'all tomorrow evening. Until then, y'all, we love y'all, and we out this beast.